When people think of Salem, Oregon, they often picture government buildings or maybe just a smaller version of Portland. But what surprises most people when they move here are the unexpected perks, the little things that make living in Salem better than you would imagine. Before my family and I relocated to Salem, Oregon, we did our research much like you're doing. There just wasn't a whole lot out there, not a lot of YouTube videos showing the lifestyle. And so we had some expectations because we had friends and family that lived here. So through this video, I'm going to share some of those hidden benefits from the lifestyle and location to the local community vibe that you wouldn't necessarily expect unless you spent some real time here. So let's kick it off with some of Salem's biggest secrets. And the last two were actually a very pleasant surprise, so you want to make sure you stay for those as well. The first unexpected perk I'm going to talk about here is the easy access to big nature without the big crowds. Now, we specifically moved to Salem to get away from the big city lifestyle, be closer to nature, and that's exactly what we got. What we weren't really anticipating was just how much we can enjoy these natural settings without all the crowd. And that was definitely unexpected perk. My family and I are big nature lovers, so this was definitely a welcome breath of fresh air. Now, I want to talk about and highlight a few places within the city of Salem. There's a lot of parks and open spaces throughout Salem, so no matter what neighborhood you move to, you're going to have easy access to neighborhood parks. And these neighborhood parks, to me, are unlike big city parks where there's a lot more natural settings with little meandering walking trails, creeks running through them, old growth forest trees connected to city parks. What I really want to do is highlight three big parks. First being the Mento Brown Island Park, which is over 1,000 acres of open space. It is an awesome, awesome place to go to. My family and I love going here for little walking trails. You always see people either walking here, jogging, going for bike rides, kids on their scooters. It runs along the Willamette River. There's an open off-leash dog park there, picnic area, and just it's this quiet place just a few miles outside of the downtown Salem area. And a lot of people from the community come here to enjoy it. However, it is not overly crowded. Every time I come here, and we go often, we're not standing shoulder to shoulder. Parking is easy. You don't feel like you're battling space. You can actually hear the birds chirping. You can hear the wind blowing through the trees. And it's not being overshadowed by just tons of people talking or crowds or music, a lot of things that I would encounter in parks in large cities. Now, this park is also connected to Riverfront Park, which is about 25 acres. This park is adjacent to the downtown area, and these two parks connect with the Taco Bridge, what we call the Taco Bridge, that goes over a little portion or an offshoot of the Willamette River. And the Riverfront Park is, again, big open spaces. There's a lot of people having picnics there. There's an old-time carousel, more walking trails, access to the Willamette River as well. You've got a splash pad for the kids, gazebo, an amphitheater. And again, it's just this big natural setting right in the heart of the city. And once again, not overly crowded. You don't feel like you're fighting for space, and parking is fairly easy there as well. The other big park we have, natural settings, is the Bush Pasture Park, which is also just about a mile or so outside of downtown Salem area. And here you've got old oak groves that you can walk through, beautiful rose garden, open grass area, again, walking trails. They also have areas to play sports, tennis courts and baseball fields, and even a soapbox derby racing. And I mentioned these three big park systems. Again, that's about 90 acres. So you have so many acres right in the heart of the city of just these natural green spaces for people that live here to truly enjoy. And you're just not fighting congestion. You can actually enjoy the natural settings for what it's meant to be. Breath of fresh air, kind of a little escape from that city life. I also want to highlight a few other places that you can go to enjoy the natural beauty that surrounds Salem. And if you drive about 45 minutes outside the city to Silver Falls, massive forested area with 10 waterfalls, a few that you can actually walk behind, which is a really cool experience, and just miles and miles of trails to either run or walk or just meander through. They've got open park space where people like to picnic and barbecue, a little playground, a little even area to jump in the water. And this place is just so peaceful and so quiet. And yes, you get people that go there because, again, people from Salem love their nature, but it's not overly crowded. You're not fighting traffic to get there. Parking is pretty easy as well. And again, when you're on these paths, there are plenty of times where you're just kind of off on your own and people aren't even around you. So you're just truly enjoying those natural settings. Another place I want to mention is the Oregon Garden. This is about 35 minutes outside of Salem in the city of Silverton, which again highlights the natural beauty and natural settings that we have here in the Salem and surrounding areas. This is a place where you can just go and enjoy, take a breath of fresh air, enjoy the nice rose garden that they have there. They have old growth pine and fir trees there. They also have oak trees surrounding the whole site. They've got all the all flowers that you can think of. They've got a little pond that you can walk through. Just very peaceful and tranquil setting, so close to Salem. And again, you can just enjoy your time there, and it's just not overly crowded. I've mentioned overly crowded probably a bunch of times, but if you're someone that loves nature and you're coming from maybe a large city where you also have access to nature, you can sympathize with what I'm talking about. How you go to these places, but you're battling for parking. You're battling just to even get there. Sometimes there's a line to get in the state park, and then once you're there, you just feel like it's just crowded, and you're not really enjoying those natural settings for what it is. It kind of takes away from the experience. Well, it's quite the opposite here in Salem, where you can actually enjoy these natural settings, and you don't have to drive for hours just to escape the city. You have all of this nature right in your backyard in Salem. If you like learning about all of these unexpected perks living in Salem, Oregon, and just wanting to know more about the lifestyle, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button to get this video out to more people, and comment below. Would like to hear any of your comments or questions. And as a reminder, I'm Dave Fine with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty, local real estate agent. I love helping people move to and relocate to the city of Salem and the surrounding areas. I know what you're going through. I know what type of information you're looking for because I've experienced it myself. I'm not a local here. I relocated to Salem with my family. And so I'd love to share my information with you to make your move here a lot easier. If you're thinking about buying a home when moving here, make sure you hit me up at the contact information popping up or in the description below. You can send me an email, shoot me a text, call me, whatever it is, and I'm happy to help with your home buying purchase here in Salem when you move here. The next unexpected perk that we've experienced since living here in Salem, Oregon, is the central location in the state. Now, this one completely took us by surprise. Again, you can look at a map and see where Salem is located, but you really don't truly get a sense of how close things are when moving to Salem and how much easy access you have to our beautiful coastline, the mountains, the city of Portland, Eugene. We can get anywhere pretty much within an hour and a half or so. I want to start off with our easy access to the coast. You go west about an hour, you hit Lincoln City, and you are at the beautiful Oregon coast. And if you haven't experienced the Oregon coast, you've got to go there. It's some of the most beautiful coastline that I've experienced. It's basically where the forest meets the water. I absolutely love that part. If you've been to Northern California coastline, you understand what I'm talking about. And it's just easy to get to. You have a beautiful drive out there, and it only takes an hour or so. My family and I do day trips, we do weekend getaways, and we just do week-long getaways. Whatever it is that you want to do, it's just so easy to access. So if your kids want to play in the sand of the beach for the day, you've got it covered. You can enjoy the coastal towns, the coastal cities there, which has some great seafood, little cool shops to walk through. You can take in the beautiful sights, the fresh coastal air, walk through some really cool trails along the forest and have that coastline in your view. I absolutely love living this close to the coast, and this is coming from someone who actually lived really close to the beach in Southern California. Now, I will say that the water here in Oregon is freezing, so just be prepared for that, but it does not take away from the beauty that the Oregon coast has to offer, and I love living so close to that. Now, if you want to go into the mountains, the Cascade Mountain Range, which is incredible, it's just about an hour or so to the foothills, hour and a half to the heart of the mountains, and maybe 2 hours to the peak. So again, you could do a little day trip, hiking, find some cool hiking trails there, go to the lakes within the Cascade Mountains, little weekend getaways if you want to do some camping or go in some cabins, go into the city of Sisters at the kind of the peak of the Cascades. But so easy to get to, and there's so much to explore in this mountain range. And I love that when we're in Salem, I can drive an hour to the coast or an hour to the mountains in different directions and still love living in this quiet lifestyle that I have here in Salem. Now, if I want that city life, if I want that hustle, again, because I came from the big city, and sometimes I do need a little bit of dose of big city energy, we just drive an hour north and we are in Portland. and you can access all the cultural events and activities that they have in Portland. You can get to some really great restaurants. So if you're a foodie, if you want some more high-end shopping, we take our kids to the OMSI Science Center, the zoo there, the Japanese gardens, and so much more to explore, of course, in the large city of Portland. And the beauty is, being an hour away, you can enjoy that big city lifestyle without actually having to live in it on a daily. And again, this wasn't something we necessarily expected when living in Salem, but we absolutely take full advantage of being so close to so many things that we love with being in the coast, the mountains, and a little big city life there. And while the location of Salem, Oregon is huge, there's another perk that's a little bit more down to earth. This perk I'm talking about now is the lower cost of housing. Now you may be thinking, well, of course I'm considering moving to Salem because it has lower costs if you're coming from a big city. We just didn't realize how much more you get here than we do in large cities, and especially from Los Angeles that we came from, and people that I talk from Portland, Seattle, and other big cities throughout the country who have moved here to Salem. They all came with the understanding that sure, it's going to be lower cost than living in a large city, but they just didn't realize how much more space, how much more home you get, how much more land you can get if you want to live in the outskirts of Salem, how much more affordable new construction is here in Salem compared to those cities. So there was some expectations of a lower cost of lifestyle or lower cost of living, just not really expecting how much more you get here. And that was the beautiful thing about moving to Salem. There are so many beautiful neighborhoods here where your money goes so much farther compared to other cities. And we thought about living in the outskirts of Portland and just decided cost of living, cost of housing, it just made more sense to be in Salem. We almost had sticker shock in the reverse. Now I know people are watching this from Salem or from maybe same size towns where. Now, with all that said, I do want to say, me being in real estate, I have seen firsthand where the cost of housing has gone up over the last handful of years, and it will continue to go up as more and more people choose to live in Salem who are escaping kind of that big city life, want to be surrounded by nature, who love the lifestyle that Salem has to offer. It's going to drive up some housing prices here. And we're just right around that median home price when compared to the rest of the nation. However, when you're comparing it to places in Oregon like Portland, Eugene, Bend, Corvallis, and those other cities that you may be thinking about moving to, we absolutely have those housing prices beat by a whole ton. If you are thinking about moving here and buying a home and you want more detailed information about the different neighborhoods and those costs, I do have specific videos on my channel that you can look for. And of course, you can always reach out to me and I'll be happy to tell you, because each neighborhood is going to vary on price. But again, in general, you're going to be pleasantly surprised on how much more you get here in the city of Salem. And the more affordable housing prices that you see here not only saves you money, but it actually changes the way you live. Now, this next unexpected perk I'm going to talk about is the local food and wine scene. Now, I don't think I'm ever going to convince any foodies or food snobs that are coming from Portland or Los Angeles like myself or other big cities, but we were pleasantly surprised. Now, we love fresh food. We love cuisines from all around the world. And to be honest, we weren't expecting much when we moved to Salem. It was something we felt like we were going to have to give up a little bit, or, as I said, travel an hour north into Portland whenever we wanted that. However, we were pleasantly surprised by the amount of great food that we have here. It's just the food scene is actually just getting better as more chefs, more cooks, more creativity is coming into the city of Salem as more people are moving here. I truly think that Salem's restaurants, breweries, and coffee shops are highly underrated. I've gone to many restaurants throughout my life from all over, and I can definitely say with confidence that you are going to find good food here, fun breweries, and great coffee. Now, I will say most of our great food and coffee places are going to be centered around the downtown area, but for me, that's great. I love going into our charming downtown area and exploring and trying new foods, trying new restaurants that open up, and going to some of more of my favorite establishments. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't restaurants outside the downtown area. There definitely are, and as I mentioned, they continue to grow. And yes, you can find foods from all around the world, cuisines from all around the world. Do you have as many options as you would in a large city? No, and that's being completely honest, but there are options here, and there's more coming to Salem year after year. What I also love about the food and wine scene here, and I highlight wine, is that we're in the heart of the Willamette wine country. Some world-class Pinot Noir is grown here. I love that we have a lot of great food pairings with wine. I love that we have easy access to these vineyards. There's over 500 vineyards and wineries in the Willamette Valley area. And being in Salem, you're just anywhere from 5 minutes away, like I am. My neighborhood's 5 minutes away from our closest winery. But at most, you're like 30 minutes outside of Salem, and you have access to so much wine country. It's unbelievable. And a lot of these places have their own food pairings with their wine. And a lot of the nice restaurants in Salem area will pair local wines with their foods, creating some really cool menus. So that food and wine scene is really starting to grow and blend and put Salem on the map when it comes to food. Because how easy it is for these restaurants and chefs to access fresh produce, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables from the local farms here in Salem. And I love that we have seasonal menu here because we are so close to these farms. So you can go to your favorite restaurant throughout the year and experience a different menu. So it's not boring going to the same restaurant, having the same food. And you can really taste the freshness in these menus because of the farm culture around the Salem area. It's really incorporated into the menus. I also want to throw this in here. A lot of these farms open up for you pick season, so you can actually explore and go pick your own fruit, your own vegetables from these farms. My family and I love doing this between spring, summer, and fall. We go out constantly getting our fresh produce from these farms. The prices are cheaper and the taste is way better, not going to the markets, going direct to the source. So again, agriculture is really incorporated into the food scene, and you can really feel and taste it in everything that you eat here in Salem. But Salem isn't just about the food and wine, the restaurant scene, because it's really about the people you can enjoy these with. And that's why I want to talk about this next unexpected perk, and that is the community vibe here that we have in Salem. Now, I truly did not expect this. I knew we were coming to a smaller town, so I was hoping to have more of that community feel, more connected to my neighbors and the people that live here. But I really didn't know exactly what to expect. I thought maybe they wouldn't want to take in an outsider, especially someone coming from Los Angeles, California. We know how many people in Oregon don't like how so many people are moving here. But I will say we were welcomed with open arms, and we truly enjoy a sense of community and connection here that we just weren't expecting, but we absolutely love it. And I love it for my family. I love it for myself because I'm meeting more people that are more grounded, down to earth. Whereas in big city, I wasn't necessarily getting that. People were off in their own little world, trying to keep up with the Joneses, hustling, doing the grind thing. That's just not the way it is here. And that was greatly unexpected, but I absolutely love it. I feel people are more approachable here, less anonymous. I see my neighbors and friends at the grocery stores or at some of the events that we go to. And I definitely want to talk about and highlight the events that we have here in Salem because, again, it really enhances and highlights how much community means to the people here in Salem. And the city and the private organizations that put on these events throughout the year really do understand what it means to bring the community together. We have so many festivals and events throughout the year. We love the State Fair. We love Agriculture Fest, Forest Fest. We love the World Beat Festival, where it highlights cultures from around the world at Riverfront Park. They've got the Summer Art Fest going on. We've got Hoopla, 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Ironman comes through here in Salem, bringing all the athletic crowd to cheer on their favorite athlete. We do movies in the park, concerts at the park, and so many other fun events that happen throughout the year. And again, you can go to these events and truly enjoy the whole event. Again, you don't have to park miles away and walk blocks away. It's easy to find parking. It's not overly congested where you can actually enjoy every portion of the event. You're not standing in line forever just to participate in one portion of the event. So these things, as much as they are attended and well attended and loved by the community, you don't feel like it's overly crowded. And I love that aspect of everything. Oh, I almost forgot. I wanted to highlight, we have something called the Saturday Market, which is in the downtown area. It's open from spring, summer, a little bit of fall, where local farmers come in with their produce, vendors, bake shops, bakeries, food trucks. There's entertainment there. And again, this really brings in people from all over Salem into this one little spot to enjoy each other's company, enjoy that kind of community vibe. It's so much easier to make connections here, get involved. If you're into sports, they've got a big sports community here as well. So just everything that you do is really accentuated and highlighted by the community feel. So we got that sense when moving to this smaller city that you just don't live here, you actually feel like you belong here. One of the biggest concerns that my wife and I had before we moved here was whether or not our kids were going to thrive here, whether it's going to be kind of family friendly and enough things for our kids to do. Because we were, again, coming from a large city, we had all of the entertainment, everything at our fingertips. Even though it took forever to get there because of traffic and congestion, it was there, and we just weren't sure what exactly to expect here. And this was our next unexpected perk that we're going to talk about in this video, was all the kid-friendly things that we have here. So if you're someone that has kids, you're definitely going to want to stay through this, because I'm speaking directly to you. Or maybe you're someone that's got a family or thinking about having a family and having kids. Or maybe you're at a stage of your life where you've got grandkids that are going to come to visit you or to explore, and you want to make sure that there's things for them to do. Well, Salem does have you covered, and we were pleasantly surprised by this. We've got plenty of activities for kids to do here. The events that I had mentioned before are very kid-friendly, and there's a lot of kid-oriented events that also occur here in Salem, Family Fest, and so much more, that where kids really have a lot of fun. I mentioned the big park systems that we have here, awesome playgrounds. A lot of these places have new equipment. We've got really cool splash pads and great little places to explore in nature for kids. I mentioned my kids love exploring the farms. We've really grown and connected ourselves to the agricultural community here. We've got several indoor playgrounds here, which the kids absolutely love taking advantage of during the rain season. If you don't know, watch my videos. I talk about the weather here a lot. Be prepared for quite a bit of rain and gray clouds. And so when you need to be indoors, Salem has you covered, and our kids love going to these places. We've got a great sports scene here, which was totally unexpected. We're a big sports family, and our kids have easy access to some great programs. Any sport you can think of, we've got it. And again, even during those winter months and those rainy seasons, they've got a lot of indoor facilities to quench any of your sports needs. And we absolutely love that we have that type of access here in Salem. We even have a little amusement park called Enchanted Forest. No, it's not like Disneyland, Magic Mountain, Universal Studios, or anything like that. It's a really small amusement park tucked in a little bit of forested area, centered around kind of like fairy tales and things of that nature. But it has a little mini roller coaster, a little log ride, a couple other bigger attractions, and a lot of other smaller attractions. And this is really cute little towns that are made up that you can walk through. It's a great little place to take your kids. It's a lot of fun. We also have the Gilbert House, which is in the downtown area. It's a children's museum. They got great programs there, fun, interactive activities for kids to explore throughout the museum. They also have great summer programs. My kids have gone there through various summers, enjoying all sorts of fun summer camps there. With all of this said, and with all of these activities here in Salem, and there's so much more that I didn't touch on in this video, we also just want to make sure that this was going to be a place where we wanted to raise our kids. We had grown tired of that hustle and that big city vibe. We didn't want to raise our kids and our family in that type of environment. In Salem, as I've mentioned throughout this video, there's a lot of perks and a lot of reasons that your kids and your family would absolutely love living here. That slower paced life, just being able to breathe a little bit more, having easy access to the nature, the Willamette River, the forest, hiking trails, coastline, the mountains, all of that right at our fingertips, right in our backyard, made it a great place for us to bring our family to, raise our young kids. And we moved here for it. We just, again, weren't expecting how much more it enhanced our lives and our lifestyle. We just feel so much better. We're happier. We feel like more at peace. We feel more connected, not just with our community, but with our family. And that has a lot to do with moving to the city of Salem, Oregon. When people think about Salem, they don't automatically think it's a cultural hub. They probably just think it's a big Capitol building, government town. And to some extent, this is true. It is a government town. We are the capital of Oregon. But there is some hidden gems here culturally that we've come to enjoy and we just weren't expecting. I'm going to start off in the downtown area with some of our favorite theaters in historic buildings. We've got the Grand Theater and the Elsinore Theater. Both of them have really cool events throughout the year where they've got live screenings. They'll do movies. They'll do music entertainment. They've got comedy acts that come through and plays and more in this awesome historic setting. Not only is the outside of the building really cool, but the inside as well. And I just love that we have these two theaters that are really actually close to each other right there in the heart of the downtown area. We also have the Bush Museum, the Bush House, which is part of that Bush Pasture Park that I referenced earlier in this video. Again, it's that park pretty close to the downtown area. Within that park and that open space, you have a historic home, the Bush family home, that has now become a museum that talks about not only the Bush family legacy, but also a lot of history about the city of Salem and how things kind of developed here. You also have an old historic home, the Deepwood Estates, where it's beautiful surroundings and gardens, and you can host some really cool, they host events there as well as you can do private events, also historical artifacts and things that you can explore there to learn more about the history of the Salem area and the Willamette Valley. We also have the Willamette Heritage Center, which again is local history as well as Willamette Valley history. You can go there. They do events throughout the year as well. And it's a really cool cultural, historical area right in the heart of the downtown area. Bringing it back to the downtown area, I mentioned it's charming, it's quaint, and a lot of the buildings are historic and have kept their historical architecture on display. And they've got signs throughout the city that kind of tell you maybe a little bit of history of the building or a little bit of the area. And it's just a really nice place to walk around. It's not like it's not a modern downtown at all. We don't have high skyscrapers. We've got these old charming buildings that have been here forever, and it's just a really nice feel. So that adds to the culture that we have here in Salem. I also want to highlight a little bit more about the agriculture, and that word culture in agriculture means something here in Salem. And I'm highlighting this because no, it's not museum. I'm not talking about museums or art centers or anything like that. But we do have a culture centered around agriculture, and these farms, as I mentioned, really open up to the public and are engaged in the community, and they really welcome you onto their property, and that just becomes part of your lifestyle, part of the culture here in Salem. I love that they open up during the fall season, especially during the Halloween time, Thanksgiving time, where you can go into these places and they have these great family events where the community really comes through and shows up for these. They've got cool corn mazes, haystack castles, they've got tractor rides, pumpkin patches, they've got festivals and festivities, live entertainment with music, they've got cool obstacle courses, games, and great food. And a lot of the farms open up for this, so you can hit up a new one every weekend, which we do, my family and I love it, in the Salem area and the surrounding areas. So it becomes part of the culture here, and it's not something that you immediately think culture, but it absolutely is. I want to highlight that. That was a really unexpected perk for us when we moved to Salem and now that we live here. Salem is not trying to be Portland, and that's the perk. You get the best of Oregon here in Salem without the downsides of the big city. It's a place that gives you connections, more balance, affordable housing, a good food and wine scene, great culture, and just a really cool community vibe. If this is something that's appealing to you and speaking to you, make sure you hit me up at the contact information popping up. If you're thinking about moving to Salem and buying a home, I'd love to help you relocate here just like I did with my family. If you like what you see here, subscribe to the channel to get more videos about the lifestyle. Hit the like button to get this video out to more people like yourselves thinking about moving to Salem. And comment below. I'm happy to answer any questions there as well. But I hope you're enjoying this video. And again, I'd love to help you when you move here wanting to buy a home in Salem.